Hi, I'm Darren Palmer, and this is Almost Home, a podcast about dreamers still finding their place. My career has taken me many places, from design studios to your TV screen. With this podcast, though, I'm going somewhere completely different. Today, we're in Melbourne's leafy east, inside the home of Myf Warhurst, an icon of Aussie TV and radio, and a fellow Dolly Parton superfan.
And she basically looked like a Christmas bauble with these huge boobs and huge hair.
Myf grew up in a decommissioned tram in rural New South Wales. Proof home isn't just bricks and mortar. What she carries is heart, authenticity, and the freedom to live life her way.
You do anything for a bit of fun.
So let's step inside with Myf and hear how she's finding herself almost home.
I power up my Turbo Blade ultra-powerful bladeless tower fan by Shark. Accelerating air up to 20 metres with 180-degree oscillation. It's the only fan that can keep up with my reps. Cooling down my home so I can fire up these guns. Shark's Turbo Blade ultra-powerful bladeless tower fan. The bladeless fan that helps you customise your cool.
All of the memories of childhood, one of the ones that sticks in my head, I would wake up on a Sunday morning and the smell of fried bacon would be filled through the house, and country and western music would be blaring, and it would be one of either Charlie Pride, Slim Dusty, Johnny Cash, if I was lucky, Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette, or Dolly Parton. So you can imagine my excitement when I saw on your Instagram you dressed up as Dolly Parton. I was like, oh my God, you love Dolly!
I love Dolly. I just adore her. I think not only was she amazing, like I remember one of my earliest memories would be watching Countdown, and Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton were singing Islands in the Stream. And she basically looked like a Christmas bauble with these huge boobs and huge hair, and was just the opposite of what you would expect a pop star to be at that time. She's always been the opposite. And that's what I love about her. But we also grew up listening to country music because I grew up in a country area, and same artists, great love for them all. But Kenny and Dolly were like that crossover between pop and country. And Kenny Rogers looked like Santa Claus, so I fell in love with him as well.
To this day now, music fills my life, and I don't ever not have music playing if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
You, obviously, musical family, also from the country. I've read some stuff. I know, you come from a really simple home.
Well, musically, it's funny. Dad played the piano, so but he was never taught, so he plays by ear. And he used to
play the organ.
Get out!
I played the electric organ.
Did you play the electric organ with the two levels?
Yep.
And the pedals?
Yeah. And like this. I was not a cool kid. I was not a cool kid at all.
I actually was going to get an organ for here because it's the type of house for that. It reminds me, because it's built in 1975, and it reminds me there was always an organ, double layered, sometimes triple if you were really rich.
And I was pretty good too. I was in the Stedfords and a lot.
Oh my goodness,
and
so
now
was
I can't even play the bloody keyboard.
Oh, it's all right. I've got a piano here. You can have it. You can have a tinker on that later. But Dad played, and my mum, they put on musicals for the high schools that they were teachers at when we'd go to different country towns. So there was a lot of music, but not a lot of contemporary music. So that's where my love of music, contemporary music, came from, because we had a music show like Countdown, and that was about it, and country radio. So it was weird. I was growing up loving pop music, but loving country music. And I feel very grateful for it, though, because I think it was my great love back then. And I play piano as well. So I was playing and trying to play, and my brothers play guitar. And so we found our own music. Mum and Dad didn't really have a lot of records or anything. They had a couple of classical records, and I think every household had ABBA's Arrival and Neil Diamond's Hot August Night.
Yes, and also Engelbert Humperdinck
for
some reason.
Yes.
Like,
was he To All the Girls I've Loved Before? No, that's
Julio Iglesias.
Yeah, Julio.
Julio Iglesias.
Yes. Engelbert was great. Oh, Quando.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was hot.
Well, now you're painting a very vivid picture of what 80s Australia looked like to me in my house, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
This is in the sort of cream brick kind of government building house that you lived in?
In the early days, yeah, it was cream brick veneer, standard issue in a town called Donald.
Love that name.
Yeah, I know. Central
Where are you
Victoria.
from? Donald.
Donald. And look, you'd look out the window and it would be, there was a road and then wheat fields for as far as the eye could see. And I think about the simplicity of that life and how different life is now. And I think I'll always go back to perhaps living in a semi-rural area because of it.
Well, you did, didn't you?
I know. I'm always back to find it. Yeah.
Like, I drove in here and I was like, because that bit of the country in your heart, it doesn't leave.
No, because where did you grow up? It was
I grew up in Gladstone in central Queensland.
Yeah.
And where I grew up, next to us, my uncle had a empty block of land, and next to that there was like just bush.
Yeah.
And we used to go to the block, and we would be like walk through and light fires and
do things that kids do,
like a little pyro.
Yeah. I went horse riding, and we'd go and buy cigarettes at the one shop that was about 20 k's away on a horse, and say we were buying them for our auntie.
Yeah.
And we'd get like something like Camel No Filter and then try and smoke them on the horse and nearly die, make ourselves sick. I don't think I ever smoked again after that. It was horrific, but you do anything for a bit of fun. At high school, there was 250 students.
Is this where the tram? Is that where the tram
Near
happened?
where the tram, we had a block on Darling. Well, it was on the Darling River, so on the way to Broken Hill, so real desert there. In the late 70s, Mum had seen an artist who'd bought a Melbourne tram, one of the old W-class trams, and converted it into a studio. And I remember looking at this article that she'd folded up and put in her special dresser beside the bed, and that's where they got the idea, and I'd look at it all the time. And then they bought one off the Melbourne City Council, who were giving them out for $500 or something, put it on the back of a truck, 7 hours to where this property was. I mean, people up there hadn't even seen a tram at this point. They thought we were we were the strangest family of all time. And what they did was convert both ends into bedrooms. Mum and Dad in one end of the tram, because the tram comes in 3 parts, and the middle bit was the kitchen, and the end bit was ours. So 4 kids were in the end of the tram.
You all slept in the same space together.
We didn't live there permanently, but we were there for, months.
How do you express yourself in amongst 3 boys in a confined space like a tram? How?
I was very little. I don't know. I think you just become part of the pack. And having 3 boys, I think that's where I had to survive. And they were brutal, like in the best possible way. It was a lot of laughter and it was a lot of fun times. But I'd have to watch the cricket endlessly, which I thought was good back then. And now I know maybe it was pretty boring. And we'd sit in front of an air conditioner. Like, you remember the ones on wheels that were evaporative, and you'd have to put the bucket of water into it?
Yeah.
And it was so hot. It was like 45 degrees up there, and you'd just be sitting in front with the cricket on a tiny little black and white telly in this tram. But I thought the tram was heaven because I'd get to sit in the front part where you drive and pretend I was driving a tram out in the middle of the bloody desert. It was wild, and I think about how lucky I was to have had that experience as a kid. Mum and Dad were very forward-thinking, and they're actually quite conservative people, and so it's a really wild idea. But I think it instilled in me at a very early age that it's important. It's okay to live differently. It's okay to look at things differently. You don't have to follow one way, and I think that's what set me up for this life. The mud brick house that we lived in, and again, Mum and Dad were before their time.
Sorry, let's just rewind that. The mud brick house that we lived in, what?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
This is not, sorry, you just like casually mention the mud brick house that we lived in like that's a normal thing that normal people do.
Sunraysia, which is near Mildura, which was like hours away from a capital city. Mum and Dad loved mud brick. I think it was an economics thing as well. It was cheaper to build with mud, obviously, and they had people to do it, i.e. the kids. So we built all the bricks, like mushed it around, and we built this house that was designed by a fella called Alistair Knox, who, funnily enough, in this area that I live in, is very famous for building very simple, mid-century style homes, mostly mud brick, but there were a lot of others as well, and a lot of houses around here. And that's why I'm drawn to these sort of places. It was the first time that I guess I'd been aware of open plan, because the living and the kitchen, like there was this huge space in ours, and it had the windows that would, like a second roof, so let the light in there. The fireplace was the size of a bedroom. Like I could stand in it. Didn't suck very well, so we had to get that fixed. But like it was a room, so it was a classic mid-century huge fireplace. And
how big was this house?
There was 4 kids, so there was 4 bedrooms, and it wasn't ginormous by any means, but the fireplace was a feature, and on it was an old railway
sleeper.
Yeah, and it still had its original metal. They're not screws, but they were have the nail things.
The things that Paul Hogan used to put into the Sydney
Harbour Bridge. Yes, one of those.
Rivets.
Yeah, had that in it. So it was this huge fire. It was beautiful, but the room wasn't huge. But we had our dining area and lounge and kitchen, and it was open plan, and it was heaven. The kids got shut off in the corner, which is fine. We had our own little zone. But the rest of it was quite radical, I think, for the time.
Sounds radical.
Yeah, I'm very grateful again to Mum and Dad for doing that and making those choices, because I don't know if people think about those options as much as something you can do. I think it's sort of, everyone's a bit scared because it's all very hard, and I get that. But they had no fear. I don't know where they got that from. But it is, again, another reminder that you can live differently. It doesn't matter. And you can approach your life differently.
Every book I ever bought was interior design books. Mm-hmm. Every magazine that I loved was an interior design magazine.
Yeah.
Every time anybody would give me a gift, it was an interior design book. And as a kid, I wanted to draw houses and build houses for a living. Do you remember Hey Dad?
Oh, Hey Dad. We didn't get Channel 7 where I grew up. Hey Dad was on Channel 7. We didn't get it.
Oh.
We got a composite of Channel 9 and Channel 10. Like, I don't know how it happened, and the ABC, and that was it.
Well, Hey Dad, Mr. Kelly was an architect, and I was like, oh, I want to be an architect. And then, so hang on, wait. Did you ever see the Brady Bunch then as a kid?
We got the Brady Bunch, yes.
You got the Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch, I think.
Okay.
In the afternoons on a Saturday, I think. I loved that house, though.
There it is. I was going to be like, what did you, little Myf, think when you first saw the Brady Bunch house? Did you go, Marsha gets everything. Marsha.
I did think that, but I also remember going, that stone wall with the stairs, the
cantilever.
Yeah, the cantilevered stairs, and I was obsessed.
Fall hazard.
And the orange kitchen where what was
Alice.
her name? Alice in the kitchen was like, that was my heaven.
Yeah.
Like the imagery of that. And I was also obsessed as well, but Mum and Dad were more into what was known as alternative housing, like mud brick housing and that kind of thing. So I used to look at all those books, but the Brady Bunch was like the glamorous end of these very simple structures that a lot of the 70s houses like this house were based on.
Is that the first 70s style house that you saw? Was that it?
The Brady Bunch one would have been, because that would have been what, 60s? Was it 60s? Yeah, that mid-century, yes. Mm-hmm. That would have been the first pristine version of it. And I loved it. And then there was also I Dream of Jeannie as well. And that house was pretty extraordinary. And she, obviously, inside the bottle was amazing. All the
colour-drenched and completely upholstered.
Yes. Let me live in my little jar and just be happy. And that just made so much sense to me.
So then how old were you when you first saw the Brady Bunch house?
Oh, I would have been a little kid, like probably, yeah.
Yeah, right.
5, 7.
Formative years, that 0 to 8 when you're like things imprint.
Yes, and I think we're really lucky because that was a phenomenal period for design, and it led me to loving. I'm more into these days the sort of 70s and early 80s, because around that time in Australia it was much more futuristic. There was a lot more strong colour. A lot, like, some people think it's tacky, but to me it was like, nah, they were having a great time. I'm sorry, they were just like using materials they'd never used before, like plastics and moulding things, and it just felt a bit like there was a sense of optimism about the future and what we could do, and I love that.
Yep, still getting my gains in the comfort of my home with my number one fan, the Turbo Blade Ultra Powerful Bladeless Tower Fan by Shark. Turbo here has all the power without the blades, accelerating air up to 20 meters. That is full beast mode. It can even oscillate 180 degrees. So if you're like me and you can't stop moving, no sweat. The Coolidge, that's cool coverage, can follow you far and wide. And 100. Speaking of sweat, there's not a drop on me. Wait, you believe I did 100, right? I swear it's just my Turbo Blade Ultra Powerful Bladeless Tower Fan by Shark. The power, the range, my reps just can't compete. Wow, this summer is going to be my coolest yet. Shark's Turbo Blade Ultra Powerful Bladeless Tower Fan, the bladeless fan that helps you customize your cool.
Oh, I've got a story for you. Oh, this is the story. Okay. So we grew up in Queensland, and Mum and Dad had a really nice, cool house. They had, it was basic, but they had like a chrome dining set with like green velvet cushion.
Do you know how excited that makes me feel when I hear green velvet and chrome?
Yeah, like an olive green velvet and like the chrome sort of, and a glass dining table. So then in the bathroom, Mum sort of expressed herself with wallpaper. And it was black and white, illustrative, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Oh, raunchy.
Yeah, but they all had fig leaves, right? So my sister and I would get a pen and we'd draw pubes on them, just one. And then Mum would come in and go, and scratch it off.
You naughty little kid, I love it.
And then we'd go and draw pubes on another one. And Mum would scratch it off. And by the end of my childhood, not one of Adam and Eve's crotches were left unscratched.
Oh, that's adorable. You were adorable. And obviously, did you get in trouble, or was it kind of...
No, it was kind of sweet.
It's funny.
Like, who doesn't laugh at that, right?
But also wallpaper in the dunny. Can we please bring that back? We moved to Redcliffs in Victoria, and my new best friend was Lucinda. I was in grade 3, so I was very young, and her mum and dad her dad was a builder, and her mum she was full 80s design, like Luce had Barbies and everything. Like, and I grew up in a house of 3 boys. It was just rough, and, we didn't have that sort of, it wasn't worth it, everything would get wrecked. So I went to Lucinda's house, and it was sunken lounge room. It was the exposed brick walls, but in the dunny was the most exotic wallpaper I've ever seen. It was black and gold, so it was gold illustrations, and I think it was like palm trees, and oh my God, I was like, these people are just
fancy.
so fancy and so sophisticated.
So chic, so sophisticated.
So chic.
Oh, it's upmarket.
Yes.
Funnily enough, those small spaces, powder rooms especially, because of
That's where you can go ham.
Yes, because of the scale, your drama can really increase. And that's why you see in big communal spaces, especially big open plan spaces, the drama has to be more moderated because it's a communal space. In these private spaces, kind of my idea is the smaller they get, the bigger the drama can be.
Thank you. You've given me permission to shine.
You have artistic license.
The brassier and the bolder, the better for me at this point. But I used to be more on the mid-century tip. But that was in the 90s when I was finding all these things in op shops, and because I grew up loving it, obviously, and then wanted to recreate it. And I think I've always just been recreating certain eras in my houses as I've gone.
It's amazing, right? Like, when you realise there's no right way. There's just the way you choose.
Yes.
And like I get driven crazy by making the right decision. Like I've got to make the right decision. And then I'm like, the right decision is actually the decision that I make.
Yes.
And there's no normal way either. Like everybody lives in this different spectrum of reality. And then we look at our neighbors and we look at each other and go, oh, they're doing it differently to me. I must be doing it wrong.
There is no wrong. I've found the older I get, the more I need to be my authentic self. And it's not so much about keeping up appearances. Back in those days, like our parents had a good room, which was the room in the front of the house where you would keep all the nice furniture that we weren't allowed to touch, and the record player and those things, to impress the guests. And that's beautiful. But it's also how people lived. You had to put on a show for people, and it's about appearances, and it's about doing, behaving in a way that is deemed appropriate by the small community. And I think it was even more, it was a much stronger influence in a country town, I think.
Don't you think, though, that there is this resurgence, and especially out of necessity, the younger people are like, okay, that way, it's unattainable. I can't do it their way. So what's the way that I can do it? Like, is it putting my personality into rented space? Is it buying a little plot of land somewhere in the middle of nowhere and hand building something from scratch? Like, there's all these different creative ways, because people have to be resourceful like your parents did because of money. Like, you can't afford it.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the best way. It encourages you in a direction you might not normally take. Like I've been doing a bit of stuff for Backroads, which is the ABC show that they go to the country areas and talk to country folk. And I actually met with a couple who were building a hay bale house, and I'm like, what the hell? But not just hay bales, the big round ones, like huge hay bales. And like the insulation on that was next level.
I bet the acoustics would be amazing too.
Yeah. So like they put a slab down and he like works with steel, and now they're doing the rendering on these hay bales, and it's like, oh, you can actually do that. That's just not this little pig went to market and Bluey straw house down or whatever it is. Like, it's actually how you can live. But I'd be too scared.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm too used to conforming. So yeah, it's good to think of different ways that you can go about solving problems. I guess, I mean, that's what my job is. Yeah. I should think about it from a different point of view.
We can actually be our authentic selves as we get older, and I'm a bit excited by it. It allows us, of our generation, it's like the third act.
Honestly, I just got to halfway, right? Like, I'm properly middle-aged if I live to the same age as my nan. And I think, gosh, okay, that's half of it done. What's the rest of it going to look like? And do I have the energy for that?
I know, I'm tired, let's be honest. Yeah, right. We're 24/7 tired. However, like, I feel like that part where you've ticked the boxes or done what you want to do is done.
Yeah. It's
just now time to explore whatever the next phase is, whatever you choose it to be. It doesn't have to be anything that anyone would expect. You just got to make enough money to survive. That's the only other issue.
And keep you in Kenny and Dolly cups.
And see, this is because I love Kenny and Dolly, but this is Kenny and Dolly's follow-up single to Islands in the Stream, which was not as good. I won't sing it for you, but if I'd had a wine, I probably would. And I thought I'd get that on a mug years ago, so I thought I'd give you my best mugs for today, and you'd enjoy that.
I do enjoy it. I'll give you what I'm going to give you in return is my favourite memorised Dolly Parton phrase saying.
See, I've got the higher the hair, the closer to God.
Which I love.
Yeah, and it costs a lot of money to look this cheap, which I just adore and have used for most of my life.
Okay, there's more to that.
Tell me.
Okay, all right.
Can you do it?
I can do it. It's in here. I've had trims and tucks, nips and sucks, boobs and waist and butt and such, ahs and chin and back again, pills and peels and other frills, and I will never graduate from collagen. If I see something sagging, bagging, or dragging, I get it sucked, tucked, or plucked. It takes a whole lot of money to look as cheap as I look.
Oh, I love that. Well done. That's amazing.
And I hear it in Dolly's voice in my head.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. She's brilliant. And that's her. She was happy to share before it became even acceptable to do any of those things. And she was just like, whatever it takes, I'm doing it and I'm going to be comfortable with it, because otherwise, what's the point?
But also, like, that idea of her authenticity being so artificial.
Yes.
And I love that, like, her whole approach is everything about me is fake except for my heart, you know?
And her heart is the purest of all hearts. And she's a philanthropist. She gives back with her beautiful book community within her state. I think, is it Tennessee?
Yeah.
Where she gives
books to kids.
every child gets books, and I just think that's absolutely brilliant.
Well, I think it's brilliant that she's just like, I do it, I've done it, I love it, and it's for me. And if it's not for you, that is A-okay. This is not natural. This is not the way this should look at 48.
But that's all right. Do what you want.
48 in a couple of months.
I mean, look, you know, and it's so normalised too now because of people like Dolly. And I mean, Kris Jenner, we all know about that facelift, and we're like, who did that work?
Jealous.
Who did it? Like, what is going on? It seems unfair though that we have to. Like, she's in nearly 70. I feel like by the time I'm 70, I want to relax a bit and not have to worry so much about that.
But I think that is the best thing about aging, and I think it's the best thing about being authentic. Like, if your approach, like mine, is you want to get a little facelift in a couple of years, I'm going to do it.
Go for it if you want it.
100%. I'm getting a hair
too
transplant.
Scared. Can you tell me what it's like? I'm just too scared.
I'll tell you, it's fabulous. I'll look very natural, don't you worry. But if you want to just age in the way that you want, then also there's no shame in that too.
Absolutely.
And I think, like, the menopause documentary that you did, I know when you started it or when it was brought to you, you had some hesitations.
Absolutely, because I didn't want to be known as the menopause lady, because we grew up with a lot of shame around our bodies.
Hang on, we grew up with that word not even being discussed.
Never spoken. And our mums never really told us either. That I don't know how the hell they got through it, to be honest. But I figured I didn't know anything about it. And I'd already done some documentaries for the Catalyst ABC Science Department, and they approached me and I was like, oh, I don't want to know. My first reaction was no. But then I went, I don't understand it. I'm privileged, well educated. I've got to help people here, because obviously I was probably starting to go through it, and it wasn't even discussed at that point. And I feel like I learnt so much, and I think by doing that I overcame a lot of my internalized shame about my body, because I didn't want anyone to focus on this. I've always avoided the body as part of my thing, because it was never something I was particularly comfortable with. But then I thought, no, stuff it. I've got to do this for all the other women and who are coming up behind me. And I've never been approached more than on anything I've ever done. Women come up to me in change rooms, like if I'm at the shops, and they go, thank you so much for making that documentary. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's matters.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And that's like, it's funny that something that you hesitated about and something that you felt potential shame about.
Well, it's around aging as well. It's not just the body. It's like I'm admitting that I'm at a stage that has always been, women
taboo.
Have encouraged to be ashamed about it. Yeah.
Yeah, something vital has stopped.
Yeah.
And then somehow I'm less.
Yeah, or I'm not as valuable. And I think that's the terminology that we're faced with, the words that are used in media and advertising, things like anti-aging, and it's always a bad thing. Whereas in actual fact, I feel like it could be the most exciting part of my life yet. I don't know. There's a freeing to going through menopause as well, where you actually give less fucks. And you just have to be who you are because it all gets stripped away. All those hormones that made you nice and sweet and agreeable, she's gone.
Okay.
She's gone.
So on this, also, you've had a recent ADHD diagnosis.
Yes, yeah. And that's all tied up with it as well because your hormones go into free fall. And quite often, everyone, people say, "Oh, everyone's got ADHD." All these women are getting diagnoses because they didn't think that women or girls could get it. And also, when your hormones drop in perimenopause, the symptoms exacerbate intensively. So my anxiety was through the roof. I wasn't coping. And I didn't know what was going on. Like I was doing daily radio on the ABC, and I was so anxious. I didn't think, this is something I'd done for 20 years. I didn't think I could even get on air. And it was terrifying. And it was my doctor who said, and she was a specialist that I'd met through the documentary. And she said to me, obviously she could see it coming a mile away. She said, "Oh, have you had a ADHD diagnosis?" No, I hadn't even thought about it. And of course I went and got it. And yes. And I feel sad for that little girl who obviously struggled with the busyness because I think the hyperactivity in a lot of women presents in the mind, and it's just, and it's exhausting, and it got too much. And it was great to start to understand how my brain works, but perimenopause brought that on, and I had no idea. And that's why you're getting a lot of 50-something-year-old women of our generation who are there now going, "What the hell?" And then they find out, and it's quite a shock, but it's helpful to know because you can work out how to make your brain work in a way that's useful as opposed to counterproductive, which a lot of the time it is.
Look, I don't have a diagnosis.
I know, but we connected straight away. So, and that's the other thing, birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah. I will be sitting in a house. Okay, so if I pull that wall out here, then I've got to put a steel beam through there, and then that'll need a steel beam. But then I'll open that, and then the door, and it was non-stop, 24/7, and it didn't ever stop. Like I would be in the house, and I'd be just.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
So that's how you got into it.
Yeah. Am I imagining it, or did I see you speak at a house and garden function once?
I did. Yes.
Right?
Yeah, Australian House and Garden was the magazine Mum used to get because you'd only get one magazine from the local newsagents that I worked at, and I sold Tats Lotto at 14, illegal. No one cared back in those days.
No one cared about anything. No one cared about you getting ciggies for your auntie.
Nah, none of it.
That's the first time I saw you in the interiors context, and I was like, okay. Because I wrote for House and Garden for years,
Of
and
course.
like Lisa Green is a friend. And
Oh, amazing.
like when I sent her my first book, she was like, "Oh, I really love the way you write. Can you write for House and Garden?" I'm like,
yes, please. Did your mum have them too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that'd be the only one that we had. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot, was there?
But then that's when I realised that you have an affinity for homes and you have an affinity for design. And then I actually started looking into it, and I was like, "Oh wow, she really loves mid-century." And now you've evolved into I'm in
a 70s phase, but I bought, and I haven't done anything with it yet. It's a shack, but I bought a Robin Boyd shack.
Oh wow!
And it's rough as guts, but I plan to bring it back to life at least to a certain extent. Maybe not immediately, but yeah, she's great, and it's got the stone fireplace, and it steps down, so it's got almost like a sunken lounge room. I mean, it's rough, like literally, it's.
Would you say it's akin to the Brady Bunch house?
A little bit, but it's a lot more of a shack because it's literally one bedroom, and it's there's not a right angle in it. It's wobbly as all get out. But one day I'll bring it back to life. But yes, there's elements, a lot of glass, and it's one of Robin's earliest, so 1949. So it was before he really developed his style. But it's got that mezzanine level when you first come in that drops down, which is almost like a sunken lounge room. So yeah.
Oh, I love a sunken lounge room.
Yes. Oh, bring that back too. That was they were cozy.
And the soundtrack is just
It's
some
good.
funk,
Yeah,
right?
it's good is what the soundtrack is. It's really, really good. That era too, I really like it because the distractions were just pretty simple, which was music or books. And television. Obviously, I was obsessed with a lot of it. But you could really explore through the images. And it was, I don't know, there was something that imprints on you from that, spending that time in a way that we're so fast paced now. We don't do it as much. I'm at the point now where I could go either way. Like I've never wanted to be totally retro. That's never been my vibe. But I could also just go completely bonkers and over the top with it now because I care less.
Yeah.
I want to live in a space that I feel so comfortable I can just express myself in any way, shape or form.
But like, who gives a shit? Like, nobody's going to be looking into your home and judging you, and just live your life the way you want to live and accept that everybody's normal is normal.
Beautiful. Do you think Almost Home, like that's the name of the series, do you think you will ever find home?
You know what? I know you shouldn't find home in another person, but I find home wherever my family is and our dogs are.
Yeah. That's it. Doesn't matter.
It. I've been happy in little apartments and big houses, and none of the stuff makes me happy. The only thing that makes me feel like I belong somewhere and that I'm home is having my family around me.
Me too. Me too. And you can make it beautiful and you can make it a safe place that feels good for you, and you can make it something that represents who you are at that moment in time. But really, it doesn't matter unless you've got the ones you love with you.
None of it does.
Yeah, and I have that with my pets. So it's just me and the pets, and I'm really holding off getting animal ornaments because I feel like that could also be the pathway I go down very soon. I have to stop myself. It's scary. I'm really going down that road, and I'm like, no, you're not going to be that weird lady with cat ornaments everywhere. You just can't yet. Not yet. I'll save that for my 80s.
Something to look forward to, everybody. All right, well, I guess we'll check back in with you in
20 or no, 30 years. 30 years. Yeah.
That was my conversation with the one and only Myf Warhurst. I guess the saying rings true. Whether it's a converted tram, a mud brick house, or a gold wallpapered powder room, home really is where the heart and the music is. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with a friend who'd love to hear it too. And thanks for joining me.